the narrative, right? It is, but it's so starkly and fascinatingly true, and so well done. But it did just bring me to the realization of like, oh my God, we have enough going on in the world right now, and and in the modern world, if you peel back to layers of history and the CIA toppling governments and on and on and on, we don't need. And I could never want to live in a world where you then had a guy who could fly and punch his way through a building. Or another dude with razor sharp claws who can cut damn near anything and heal faster, or with two katanas and with the exact same powers. But he's funnier though. Little Deadpool reference there. Ryan Reynolds, friend of the pod, if you're out there listening, we do love you. He actually used to work out at the gym. He worked out at Dartmouth Street there back in the day. And I want to say on a star crossing moment, really chill guy. Showed up by himself, worked out by himself, no personal trainer. So, I mean, that somewhat goes against my code, but what do you want? It being part of how I've made my living all these years here. What can I tell you? But yeah, really chill dude. Anyway, never made a big scene about himself, but yeah, really glad, as tough as it is, as so much we've been through here in the year 2020 and leading into 2021, and God knows what's waiting ahead of us, because after these last couple of years, who the hell knows? I'm still glad that I live in a world with vaccines. I live in a world with antibiotics, and I live in a world without actual legit superheroes, because we've done enough. Going back to Greg's point, we've done a fucking enough on our own without that, right? We have the weapons, we have technologies in place that could destroy us 80 times over. We seem to be slowly poisoning ourselves, and just sort of shrugging our shoulders to what you're gonna do. So I don't need to add, the Ubermensch into the mix. As cool as they are, right? A literal god of thunder. that flies by spinning the hammer around and throwing himself into the air. I don't need any of that. Like, I have enough trouble with what we got here. So that'll bring me to the end of my little rant here. But I'll be interested to hear your gentlemen's thoughts on it. But
I just can't believe you left out of the pantheon of early superhero movies and TV shows Wonder Woman, and then 1990s version of Flash.
Oh, I loved Wonder Woman. I loved Wonder Woman.
Even before I get to Spawn.
Yes. Well, I loved Wonder Woman. And I did, well, for some obvious reasons, because, red-blooded American male. Linda Carter, man.
Let's be clear. Sorry, kids, but there was a time where the best you were going to get most week to week was the lingerie circular from Sears in the
That's
Sunday.
It. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Is what it is. I get it. I'm not, like I say, not trying to be like ridiculous or derogatory, but Linda Carter was there, and I caught it on. They were already on repeat by then, so you could see like one a day, right? Fox 25 up here. Wasn't Fox. It was just Channel 25 back then. Yep. It used to show it there pretty much on the daily, and they had like the old World War II one. So those were fantastic. I never got into the 90s version of Flash. I never really got, was it?
I mean, none of these were good. As a matter of fact,
I don't.
Movies sucked.
But it wasn't a matter of being good or not. Like, I never watched it. Like, I just never even got into it to watch it. I even missed out on a lot of the Buffy stuff. So till you could binge stuff.
Wait, you're including Buffy in this?
Well, just talking about like stuff that, series you could have gotten into. And yeah, she's a superhero. She's not the classic superhero.
Man, stick to your own topic.
Fair enough. But yeah, I never got into the 90s one. Spawn was great, but Spawn I experienced through the comic books, and then the best version was the HBO short
cartoon
animated version.
Yeah.
The movie left a lot to be desired. The movie was
awful.
The movie was, that goes on to another subject we may touch on that we were talking about beforehand. being that the soundtrack was more hyped and better, probably better than the film. And even that, it's not one of the best soundtracks of that era.
That's not a very high hurdle to clear.
Not a high hurdle, but yeah, so yeah, Spawn, that, like I said, that cartoon version of it that they did on HBO. That
Talk about the war on drugs. What was that boardroom like when they're like, who's gonna play the devil, the little devil creature? John Leguizamo. Yeah. Another ball? Yeah.
It was cheap.
It's gonna be awesome. Though I love John Leguizamo.
Not at that time. He was top of his game.
Yeah,
he was going top dollar.
Because the real person was Emilio's dad, Martin Sheen.
Oh well, he was the bad guy. He was the bad guy.
Yeah,
he was the bad guy. He was the CIA bad guy. Pardon me.
Like that movie spent a lot of money.
As the comic book guy in the room, let me just put it down for the listeners. Obviously, the one that you really want to go to make up your mind about how you don't want to live in this world is The Watchmen.
Oh yeah.
The Watchmen did it first. The Watchmen did it best. These are not bad people, but they are damaged people.
Right.
And they are definitely cynical people. If anything, the heroes are pretty much all they focus on, air quotes, heroes, because the villains are a bunch of, low-level losers. Like they're all, for the most part, pretty powerless. It's the heroes that are the real threats and the ones that you really have to worry about, from the comedian to Dr. Manhattan.
Right.
So for them, and they intermingle the way Alan Moore does it. Required reading, by the way. The way Alan Moore does it is he intertwines superheroes all through American history. And so that shows you just not how much they would ruin your life today, but how they would ruin your life for a while.
Yes.
Superman was, I can't remember the title of it, but there's a Superman graphic novel where Superman kind of pulls a, Superman 4, like he goes off and tries to save the world and shows how it's a mess and wouldn't work. Much like the machines trying to make a perfect world for mankind. Complete failure. He tries to save the world and the world ends up hating him for it.
Right.
Also required reading. I'll see if I can find the title for it. And I feel like, what? Times changed. I mean, let's be honest, back in the 60s and 70s, your average superhero fight may end with, a car being damaged. Now you got superhero, they take out whole fucking blocks every time they get punched, like if you've seen Invincible, it's ridiculous. Like they're taking out entire buildings. It would be illegal for superheroes to operate anywhere. And probably the biggest the shift culminated with Marvel Civil War, which they kind of touch on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right.
But it shows how, writers and developers of comics really had to stop and think, holy shit, it's really not good that these people can just go around unchecked doing what they think is right. So there's it's been very much explored in comics, like why you would not want to be in a world with with superheroes.
I'm just gonna say that quiet part out loud, though. I'm good. I'm good. Just give me some vaccines and some antibiotics. We're cool, man.
I see the value in both styles of story. I mean, same thing with going back to the whole, how much do we want to focus on realism? Do we really always want to tone down the idea of a super being having to deal with human conscious and human, set of morals, even if shared on the loosest end? Sometimes that's cool, but other times, like, no, I'm not watching another human. I'm watching a superhuman. And frankly, sometimes I think, it would suck that one day your building would completely get demolished because, someone misunderstood someone else saying Martha. But at the same time,
my dad didn't come home. Right?
Dude, he said Martha. I heard it. Calm down.
My dad's dead now.
Guys, you don't have to do this. Your moms have the same name.
Oh my God. You killed like 100 Marthas. Like, it's so good.
Everybody's dead.
God.
They were just going to their offices, for fuck's
I was
sake.
in a hospital with an infirmary, and guess what? 3 Marthas were born yesterday, and they're all dead.
Right?
Good call.
And just to clarify, Superman wins.
Oh, yeah.
Every time. Why are we even
Yeah.
having this conversation? Don't make me go off on this again. You know much of it. Like, throw Batman into the goddamn space. We're done. It literally is not a competition.
Yeah, there's no competition.
No,
let's stop pretending there is.
Oh my god, it's the dumbest conversation.
I'm even a Batman guy, and I admit that, like, yeah, forget it. Just go back to the Batcave and shut the fuck up.
Honestly, I've always looked at that whole conflict as like, even Batman knew. Like, Batman's just like, all right, man, we're just gonna toy this out. I'll figure out some new toys, man. You know, hopefully he won't kill me. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I on a very quick side note, then I'm going to throw it over to you, Rashawn. You know, that's why the best Batman ever done is the Lego Batman. Like, to be quite honest, Will Arnett, Will
on
Arnett
the list.
as Lego Batman is the purest form of that thing that just shows exactly what that character really is. And you can watch that with almost a complete literalism, you know?
Yeah.
First, I'm going to do 1,000 push-ups. It's like, I only work in a very black, yellow, and sometimes a very dark gray, right? It's just, it truly, like, that guy got that character. That is the best method acting I've ever seen. So, you know, it absolutely sums it up.
Well, what I was going to say about my small counterpoint of living in those universes, you do sort of have a small chance, albeit like winning the lottery, of also getting some superpowers yourself. Yeah, so.
No, I'll pass.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not saying I want to be there. I'm just saying, like,
I don't
If you're
want
living
somewhere.
If by some magical twist you're living in that world, goddamn right you want superpowers, because it's like, this is
that's your only chance, right?
The only way I'm going to see tomorrow. You know, so it's at that point it's apex predator versus everybody else, right? So you're just rolling with it. But all right, well, that we've got two of us here in our world, sitting in our now comfy chairs, happy, you know, sipping whatever beverage we like. So let's bring it over to the three of clubs to round it out here for us. Rashawn, what have you got for us today, and where don't you want to live?
All right. There's a lot of places, and you guys have made several great points, so I'm not going to add to that. However, I definitely have a list before I bring it all home. So I'm just going to start off with some obvious big ones just to get out of the way. The first one, all white savior movies, every single one of them, because every single one of them ends like, racism's done now. All right, cool. Let's go. Let's move on. Roll credits. We're good here.
Racism's actually done.
I mean, and then how they get to that moment too is like, we're not even gonna explore how you even got to this moment. That's integral to the plot of the story. Like, we're not even gonna do that.
Rashawn, he played for the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, come on. If that doesn't make it all better, what does? Come on. I'm just saying.
Yeah, point. Totally. It's racism done.
Done.
And
so, with that said,
roll credits on racism.
I'm also gonna just clear out of the way, and I know it's gonna be super obvious, but for obvious reasons, every sci-fi and fantasy movie out there, because let's be honest, the more you think about any one of them, you also have to think there is some funky shit going on that you're not privy to, and can totally just show up in your world at any given moment. I mean, just take like I don't know, aliens. There's no fucking way in the world those aliens aren't making it back to Earth. No fucking way. Everyone's trying to bring them back to Earth. And once they get here, we've already proven we can't stop them. So it's just a matter of time before it's all over. A painful end to human civilization. All for fucking greed. All obvious. Don't want it. You can sell me on the fact like, well, Rashawn, you know, they have interstellar travel. They're all over the place. They're, you know, colonizing worlds to fucking bring aliens to. Like, they're just bringing xenomorphs all over the place, like goddamn bad pets. I don't even understand why even go to that point. Also, Roger Rabbit's universe.
Oh.
Explore what kind of world you have where a fucking cartoon just running out of nowhere with zero attachment to your laws of physics. Zero. You are not. You want to talk about living with superpowers and superheroes? They at least kind of understand what they want to do. How about living with a goddamn tune who's just gonna play it wacky for a fucking day and decide to smack your car off the road with a goddamn giant hammer that squeaks? Like, do you really want to die with the
That's
last?
word. That's word. Yeah.
Or a portable hole.
Or let's be real. Finding out that you're actually attracted to a goddamn cartoon, that you want to bang a goddamn cartoon.